Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. You got company coming to dinner for Thanksgiving? We had company last year. This year, we're just going to do a Mr. and Mrs. thing, I do believe. But I just wanted to come on and thank all of my viewers for um, tuning in every Monday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. This has been going on now. We're into our third year. So then we're going to go into 2024 in a minute. You know, we're doing the holidays. It's difficult sometimes to get guests because everybody's busy. They're shopping. Their kids are coming home from school. Everybody's got a different agenda. So I'm going to do my very best to get through this holiday season and kick off 2024 with a bang. Okay. But today, so what I thought I would do is I'm going to rebroadcast a previous show. And since Thanksgiving is about gratitude and being thankful, and I want to express that to everyone because we all must be thankful for the good things that we have that are in our lives. But we also have to be thankful for those things that didn't happen to us. We're thankful that we didn't go down the wrong path, that, we got turned around somewhere. We have to be thankful that illnesses have not touched our lives. We have to be thankful that some of our loved ones are still here with us, even though some of our loved ones are gone. Some were suffering. And we just have to give thanks. That's what Thanksgiving should be about. Giving thanks, showing compassion, showing love for one another, and being more thoughtful. Sometimes I got ready to turn the news off a few minutes ago because they still talk about Mr. T. And no slight to the real Mr. T. But sucking up all the air out of the airwaves again. Even though nowhere near in office, trying to get back in office, but getting all the airwaves all the time. That's how he got elected the first time. They kept everything was supposed to be in a press conference, and everybody showed up and everybody tuned in. He didn't spend a dime. So this evening, I thought I've had one chef on the show, and this show. The concept is supposed to be we're going to be having dinner, conversation over dinner. But COVID knocked that out of the box. But I'm going to get back to that. You just got to give me a minute. But I've had one chef on the show, and I thought, since it's Thanksgiving week, let's see what my guest, Mr. Ben Johnson, Dine and Dash, was talking about when he was my guest on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. This might have been last year, huh? I think it was last year. That's all right. He was still the only chef I've had on the show. So here we go. Check out Mr. Happy Monday. Guess who's coming to dinner? You need to see all of the name. Okay, let's do this. All right. Welcome. I hope everyone had a safe and fun-filled weekend. I am your host, Janis Carter Miller, and you are coming to have a dinner conversation with me and my guest today. We want to talk about a few things that are going on in the city of the Ville. Satterfield's out. Bye. Dion Branch, interim coach. I think that's wonderful. Sometimes it just takes a long time for folks to give Black folks their props, or not just their props, just an opportunity. Let me show you what I'm working with. Because we are a talented race of people. Just look, we built this country. What can I say? And props out to Deion Sanders. He's going on to Colorado. He had to go get that money, but he did a wonderful thing for HBCUs. You would have thought back in the day of Doug Williams, who came from an HBCU and the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, that the hype about HBCU recruitment and players should have been at an all-time high, but we didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all those TikToks and all those wonderful social media outlets that helped promote what was going on down in Jackson, Mississippi. And I know Jackson, Mississippi is really glad that Deion did come and accept their offer for the pay that they gave him because he made quite an impact. He said he doesn't work alone. He smells like a winner. When you get close to him, he just smells good, a winner. That's a wonderful aura to have, to pass on to your players, to have that kind of enthusiasm or that high impression of oneself. So he had no problems with that. So sharing that with his team was probably a very motivational characteristic to pass on. But tonight we've got two hosts meeting each other. I said host to host, and we've got a 3-course meal going on. Our guest this evening is a gentleman that will present to some and introduce to others. You will see that that's going to be, I got to make that a little bigger. But anyway, that's our host this evening, our guest rather, Mr. Ben Johnson. And I'm going to say, good evening, Ben.
Good evening. How are you?
How are you, darling?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm just fine. I was so excited to get ready for today. Even we prepped this meal yesterday, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we had to talk.
Look, and when I went back and looked at the game, it was fourth quarter. I said, "Ooh, I know Ben is upset with me. He done missed the whole quarter of football."
Yeah, I was trying to hear, but then I couldn't listen to that and listen to you. And my son was wondering where I went because that's what we do on Sundays. We watch the game together.
But the outcome was good.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, outcome was good.
Absolutely.
So, Ben, when we were chit-chatting yesterday, getting ready for today's show, you said that you were from Philly.
Uh-oh. Yes, I am. I don't know.
So, tell me about Philly, how you got from Philly to Louisville.
So, it's interesting, a little bit of that Deion's going to fit in there. I actually went to Florida A&M University on an academic scholarship. So, that's what got me to Louisville. It did get me to Louisville indirectly. I was a major in the business school, and we had to do 3 internships with 3 different companies in 3 different parts of the country. One of them here, and that's what brought me back. So I did my internship, did pretty good. They offered me a job. So here I am. Well, and that was about 7 jobs ago. But nonetheless, here I am.
Okay. So you said Philly, and I told you, I said, I told you about singing backup for Billy Paul. Yeah. But I also sung backup for your superstar.
Don't say Patty.
No, Lola Falana.
Oh, Lola. Okay. I'm a big Patty now. Lola's lovely, but I'm a Patty fanatic. So
okay, I can understand that.
Lola, she's not the B team though. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. Like I tell people when I bring her name up, before there was a Beyonce, there was a Lola Falana. Yeah. Be clear about that.
Right.
So now that you're here in Louisville, what you do during the day. You have a day job. Tell me about that day job.
Well, shoot, my day job is a day job. That's a partial night job too. So I'm the assistant director for Parks and Recreation, overseeing 13 community centers from Berrytown all the way out to Sun Valley. But I got a few in the heart of the city. You know, I got Park Hill, California, Portland, Shawnee.
Okay.
So I have a good time.
Okay. Parks and Recreation. Now, this is a question that I wanted to bring up. You know, back in the day, well, in 1969, I was a park supervisor at Algonquin Park, Ben Watkins and myself. And so I'm just curious as why are there no more park supervisors? That job hasn't been around for a while. Is there a reason why? Do you know why they took it away? Are they ever thinking about bringing it back? Because that was a job that a lot of college students could come home for the summer and apply for those jobs.
Right. I do not. I started my stint with Parks and Rec in 2013, and that was gone long before I got there. But, you know, that's something I'm willing to take back and, you know, ask a few questions about. But there are a couple of things. I'm glad you went there, though, because of my 13 community centers, I have vacancies at 11.
Okay.
So if persons are interested in full or part-time jobs, they can go on our website and look for that. And this is going to be the first time I say this publicly because I like you, but I'm in the process of establishing 2 year-round jobs for teenagers at every community center.
At every community center?
Well, every community center except 2. I have one that does seniors and one that just does art. But all the traditional community centers, I'm getting ready to, and I'm just working, you know how it is with government. I'm working through the process.
Right.
These will be 6-month positions, but they'll go year round. And I like the fact that they're 6 months because that means more young people will have an opportunity to take advantage of these positions. I feel like they'll help us program better because they can help us say, look, this is what my peers are interested in.
Right.
Through kids to participate. And the other thing is summer jobs are wonderful, but these kids got to eat year round. They want to go out year round.
Right.
They got these phone bills and these shoes and everything else. No different than adults. So this will be an opportunity to provide some year-round employment for some kids from those communities.
And gets them acclimated to what it is to be in a workforce.
Right.
You know, you're living up to your responsibilities, getting there on time, finding your own transportation, maybe even learning how to ride the bus.
Yeah, I employed my first stint with Metro. I was at the Office of Youth Development, and we had some other youth job opportunities. And we had an orientation, and parents were there. And when I started talking about timeliness and this, that, and the other, and I parents, I am not talking to you. I said, you're not on my payroll. Your children. So I'm dealing with them. Whatever happens affects them. I'm not trying to hear what mom didn't do, dad didn't do, and all this.
Yeah. The blame game.
Right. And a lot of parents hover and they'll cover for their kids and try to make it all right. I'm like, we're not doing that. This is you're getting paid.
Right. You got to get up at a certain time. You got to be where you're supposed to be. You know, nobody's going to come wake you up. Nobody's going to feed you. None of that. You have to, that's kind of one of the first things in having for a teenager to have a job is to learn how to function on their own.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal. Yeah. As they move into that. Well, check with them and see what, but that's wonderful that you've got that coming up. And so what I'm going to do, Ben, is I'm going to go over here to see if I can put up, I can't see. Oh, I want to put up a banner and I want you to give me your website address. Hold on. Let me get the thing ready so I can edit this. What's the website address where they can go look up for this job?
Well, it's the Metro government.
So what's that website?
LouisvilleKY.gov, G-O-V.
LouisvilleKY.gov.
Correct. And of course, that's for our traditional jobs. That youth piece I haven't quite worked out yet. But when
But that's where they'll be able to find it.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, let me go back over here to that. Okay. Let's see that. All right. I had to pull something back up here. You know, this being the director and the videographer and the, you know, with my computer allows me to do everything, but I have to be efficient.
Absolutely.
Proficient at doing everything. So now, one of the main reasons being that you came up on my radar screen was I don't know what I was looking at, that I came across. Are you calling, is it a podcast or it's a TV show?
When I get it right and it's all said and done, it's going to actually be a full-fledged TV show.
Okay. So tell me about Dine and Dash.
Oh, so it's interesting for your viewers. It's so funny when you call me. Remember how confused I was?
Like, what was I talking about?
Like, what are you talking about? So what happened is I actually taped a few episodes of a TV show called Dine and Dash. It's an original creation. My brother-in-law reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know you love to cook, and you know I have an opportunity possibly on ironically on Roku and so forth." So he comes in town and we tape a few episodes, which is a lot of work. It looks like fun and it is fun, but people don't realize how much work it is. And so when we got it all done, somebody else goes back and, you know, edits and cuts and this, that, and the other. And I just did not like how it actually looked. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like, yo, we need to kind of do a reset and start over. And so when you called me, I was like, what are you talking about? Because it had been a few months. And then you sent me the picture. I was like, oh, wow, she right. And so anyway, I love to cook, mm-hmm. Self-taught, love to entertain. And so, and you know, bit of a clown or personality or outgoing or however you want to describe it. So, you know, brother-in-law's like, man, let's try this. So I did, and I had a good time doing it. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm in the process of a reboot. We've shot a couple other episodes, and they're in the process of doing whatever they do in the back room, and there we go. And then the Dine and Dash aspect, you know, I wanted it to be something playful. I'm a pretty playful guy. And so for those of you who don't know and others who won't admit, Dine and Dash was when you would go and eat and wouldn't pay. So you would, and then
yes, it was. Okay.
And, you know, I'm not going to admit to too much, but, you know, you're a struggling college student and, you know, sometimes you do some things that you look back on. It's like, yeah, that wasn't too cool. So that was the concept. Just something playful.
Just a catchy name, though.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so when I first put the name out there, a few people who would admit to knowing what it meant, they all chuckled. You know, they thought it was. And so that's where that came from.
So we talked about maybe you preparing something. Did you do something special for us today?
I did, and you got me feeling bad. I felt like I should have, you know, I worked my regular job and came home and had.
Look, you are just fine. This is a very casual show. I can have this on, or I can have my Dirt Bowl t-shirt on. So, you know, it just depends on how I feel and what I could find quickly and put on to get ready.
I got
it. But I'm getting ready to be festive for this whole month of December because I'm going to be in the holiday spirit.
I'm sure. So, yeah, I was able to come home and throw together what I think is a decent looking little plate. You want to see what we're working with today?
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in on you and take myself out of the picture. But you can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Wow.
And okay, is that good? Do you need me to move my phone for a minute?
No, maybe just move the food back, maybe closer to you. Then we can see. There you go. Now we can see what you're working with.
All right.
All right now.
So, and it's interesting, even before I started even thinking about doing a show, I'm also starting a private chef company where I'm going to do small, ironically, with the basis of your show, I'm going to do small, intimate, in-home dinner parties.
Yay!
not catering because I'm not trying to do that kind of volume. It's private chef work. All the menus will be custom. I come out to your house. We'll discuss the menu. We'll discuss the layout. And I actually do as much cooking as possible on site. And depending on the environment, that can be a little wonky. Depending on the timing and so forth. But as much as possible, I do the cooking all myself from scratch on site.
Okay.
So today, what we have is from my right to left. This is a roast beef with a scratch-made gravy. So I roasted that in the oven, and I have a convection oven, which puts a nice crust on food. The way a convection oven cooks, it keeps things really juicy. You can actually, if I held it up, you can see a little juice running out of there.
Tell me, I got a question real quick, because I have a convection oven and I don't necessarily know how it works.
Okay.
I mean, what is the essence of you get out of a convection oven?
So a convection oven actually circulates air.
Okay.
So it should help your food cook more evenly. And because of that warm air moving around, it'll also put a nice crust on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it allow the food to cook shorter period of time or a longer period of time?
Shorter.
Because
you're getting better circulation. And also, if you're using the convection feature, do not cover the food. Obviously, that takes the whole point of. So what? You know what? You'll do this. If you roast a chicken, a whole chicken, or if you lay it out on your convection feature, it'll sometimes come out almost like a rotisserie chicken. That skin will get good and crispy. So,
Jack Miller? Look, I'm asking you so I can tell him. He's listening.
He had a number at one point. He can call me.
Okay. He said you can call him, but he's telling it's shorter. I always thought if we use the convection, I said there's got to be some difference in the time, the amount of time. You don't have to cook. You don't have to bake a chicken as long as you would if you do a convection.
That is correct.
Okay.
So that was cool. I like that, and I call myself a city boy with country roots. My mom from Alabama, my dad from Virginia, so you don't waste nothing. So took those drippings and some onions and some mushrooms, and made a gravy from scratch. You throw that flour in there, let that brown, and you add the stock and the drippings and so forth. So that's what we have on top.
Okay.
Next to it, I have a yellow rice. Now this was white rice. I make my own rice yellow. And you can do that by adding seasonings. I do not cook with water. I hate cooking with water. I do that the least amount possible. So this was actually cooked in a vegetable stock. Vegetable stock. And you see those green bits in there? That's spinach. Dice it up real good. Stir that through. I've always cooked pretty healthy, and not to be healthy, but it's you cook how you were raised. And again, parents, my mom always had a protein, a vegetable, and a starch.
Yeah.
And so that's how I've always cooked. So that's again a seasoned rice with some spinach cut up, stir through there, and let that go. And that's good. Right here, and this is one of the favorite things to cook in a convection oven. I don't know if you can see a little brown edge.
Oh, I see the crust on the broccoli.
Exactly. So what I did, I roasted them for like 10 minutes at about 400 degrees, high temp. And literally when it comes out, it'll actually crunch. To that brown salt. And also, again, not cooking with water, you're keeping the flavor in, you keeping the nutrients in, and boom, it cooks that quick. So that's just seasoned broccoli with some carrots. And what I love about the rice and the broccoli is whatever vegetables you like, that's what you throw in there. Sometimes I'll have mushrooms in either one. I'll have onions in either one. You can throw some peppers in there if you want some color, things like that.
So you said you just put the broccoli in, but no water on them?
Oh, no, not in the oven. No, ma'am, not at all. But I did a little bit of oil because that'll help.
Oil. Okay,
oil. Very little oil. A little bit of, I use olive oil.
Okay. Hey, I'm working with you.
toss it around, season it up a little bit. You can season it, how you want. A little bit of salt, pepper, some other kind of seasoning. Actually, I think I use a little bit of celery salt on this one to give it another little taste. The seasoning you see in there is basil.
Okay.
In the oven, real quick, and let that go.
Really good, because I'm a broccoli eater. I'm a big time I fix the broccoli. I do the sides. He does the meats.
Got you. So we eat a lot of vegetables around here. My son, who's 33, has always eaten well, always eaten healthy. I mean, that's kind of how I cook. So that's what he grew up eating, and he's always, in a high chair eating and liking broccoli.
Right.
Parents make tell your kids, but just try this. So if you don't like it, you already put it in their head they're not gonna like it.
Right.
You already told them. And so again, country boy, I wasn't raised that way.
Right.
What's on that stove? We hit that plate. What you grade? We ain't doing 2 or 3 meals.
No, you can't go back and fix something else.
We ain't doing
what's on the menu.
But you know what's funny? That's actually how I learned how to cook, though. My parents ate fish. Oddly enough, coming up, I didn't like fish because they ate fresh fish, and I didn't like.
I didn't like fish either.
And so what I ended up doing, my mom got to the point she took a little pity on me. And they ate fish every Friday. And she would let me fix a hamburger or a hot dog. Like, okay, you eat other stuff, but you don't have to eat the fish. I mean, I really didn't like fish. But
I couldn't stand the smell of the fish when my mother cooked it.
And they would, again, these are country folk. They was eating fish with the bones. There wasn't no such thing as a fillet back when.
Okay.
So I didn't, like I said, the smell and working through the bones.
Yeah.
So it ended up happening. Saturday was her day when she didn't cook. So now I'm eating hamburgers and hot dogs on Friday and
Saturday.
And even I got tired of that. So then I started cooking a little bit of protein. And so I've been cooking since I was 12.
Okay. All right. I started eating fish when I moved to Paris. I said, I'm not going to say what I won't eat. So I opened up my palate to try new things. And the first piece of fish that I had, maybe you can tell me what I was eating. It looked like a piece of lard.
Okay.
It was like a chunk of fish.
Might have been a sea bass.
It was white. Jack said he thought it might have been a sea bass, but it tastes like butter.
I knew you were going to say that. It was sea bass.
Oh.
You said
and
butter.
So once I ate that, then I started to just keep on trying. So naturally, when I came home, I had to go at that catfish, and then later on, I had to go at that buffalo. So now those are 2 fishes that along with my salmon, that I do eat. And
so, but you raised a good point too, though. Sometimes it's how it's prepared, and how it's presented.
Oh,
makes a difference as well. So I'm real big on presentation with my food. Because you eat with your eyes first.
Right.
To you. Like if I had put, instead of yellow rice, if I made that rice blue.
Oh, yeah. I'd make this face.
Oh, exactly. I just said even do it. But if I did it, you'd be like, no.
No, we're not going to eat no blue rice.
Ain't doing that. Something wrong. Exactly. So, so presentation is important. And then lastly, I did some boneless thighs. I don't typically do boneless, skinless stuff because the skin has flavor, the bones has flavor.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, I happen to have some around, so I just sauteed these real quick in my cast iron skillet, which I love. And then I did a glaze. I actually have a cousin that has his own sauce. So I made a glaze out of his sauce. He has a hot honey lemon pepper sauce that he sells.
Ooh.
But then I also put a little pepper vodka in it. And let that cook and let the chicken finish in that. And that's what got a little glaze, see that little color on there. So that's why it's so shiny.
Lemon vodka?
It's a pepper vodka.
A pepper?
Yeah, like you would put for a Bloody Mary.
Okay.
So, I got all kinds of stuff around here. And I hadn't even thought about that till I got home. I was like, what am I going to do with this chicken? And I got this, I got that. So, because I was going to bake it, I'm like, I didn't want to bake it because it drives easy. And I love my cast iron skillet. So just sit it in the cast iron skillet real quick, threw the onions in there, threw his hot honey lemon pepper sauce in there, and then with that vodka to thin the sauce out and then let it reduce, and here we go.
Wow, that sounds delicious. Now tell me, I want to ask you about the skillet. Because
Okay.
I know cast iron has been around since we've been around. and before.
Yes, ma'am.
So these new skillets, because I was going to buy one because Jack, he sizzles like we do rabbit.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not rabbit, lamb.
Okay.
Lamb chops. But he likes to sizzle them on the top of the stove, and sometimes he does his steaks on the top of the stove. Is a cast iron. These new skillets, would you say, in comparison, a cast iron next to one of those? Oh, I don't know if there must be like they're a convection kind of skillet that holds the heat. That's what it does.
I like my cast iron.
So you just you stay with conventional cooking.
So that cast iron, you can cook almost anything in it. It cooks so even, it holds the heat. I did my cornbread dressing in my cast iron skillet on the grill for Thanksgiving. Because I grilled my whole meal. And since my grill was gone, I got a pretty big grill. My uncle built it for me. I had everything out there. So I threw it in that cast iron skillet. Of course, made my own cornbread. Broke that like you would normally do and sat it on there, let it cook.
Wow. So you cast iron grill skillet on the grill.
Oh yeah. That cast iron can handle that heat.
Okay.
That cast iron can handle that heat.
All right, Jack Miller, you hear that?
Yeah. I hear already, yeah.
Okay, wow. Well, it looks delicious. And so when do you think, how you're looking at the reboot of the show?
Actually, I'm talking to my people, and hopefully it'll be next year. I mean, early next year, January. Okay. That was the conversation we had, so that's what I'm hoping will happen.
Okay. Well, just let me know so that I can put it on the airwaves and put it out there in the ether.
I appreciate it.
Because I'd like to see what you got cooking. And then the one thing that you did on the show after you prepared your meal, you had an after dinner beverage.
I did. And I actually have one here.
Okay, so tell me about what you got.
So my favorite adult beverage is tequila.
Okay.
And one of my favorite fruits are blood oranges. You ever seen a blood orange?
That's the orange that's red in the middle.
Yeah. So tequila goes with orange because they do triple sec or Grand Marnier or whatever. When you make them hard, usually put some sort of orange flavor in there. So I just put some blood orange in mine. So this is a blood orange margarita, and you see it ain't that red because it's more tequila than it is blood orange.
Okay.
But it's good. I love tequila. I'm kind of a collector.
Oh, really?
But I'm a collector that drinks. I'm not a collector that. Now, all of them aren't open because I probably have 100 bottles, give or say. Okay. But they gonna all get open eventually.
There was a new. I'm gonna say it right, Prosecco. Okay, that a young rapper has a brand that's supposed to be all that.
Is it E40? Or is it a younger guy?
I can't even think of the name of it. But it was a rapper that had this Prosecco it was on one of the morning shows.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar with Prosecco that much. And I was just wondering if you had tried it.
I have not, but I can give you some information. There are a couple young brothers here that have their own
the Bro Brothers.
Huh? No. There's some brothers that have a distributing company with alcohol.
So you're talking about James Marshall?
No.
Because he's got a liqueur.
Yeah, so he has a liqueur. I mean, because it's a couple black folks. They got a couple bourbons and stuff, but these are distributors, so they distribute alcohol.
Is that the one where the woman? It's a woman that owns the company, because I saw that on. Did I see it on LinkedIn or something? See, people don't know we be talking about their business and stuff, and they need to let us know.
Right.
They need to have more of a presence.
Well, these two brothers are local. I mean, they local. So I'll give you their contact information, because they can give you a lot of information on black-owned spirits and what they local.
Right.
They're local.
Right, because eventually when I get to the point that I'm having the meals on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, having the conversation while we're having dinner, is that I want to do some pairings.
Right, absolutely.
Now, see, I'm the wine person.
Okay.
Last year, my husband and I, my nephew invited us out to California, and he drove us up to the Paso Roble.
Oh, okay, I'm familiar.
Area. Okay, we went to 4 wineries and did tastings and pairings. Oh, it was awesome. It was just really awesome. And so, especially after my time in Paris, when I came home, see, before I went to Paris, we were looking to have either some tea or a soda with dinner.
Right.
In Paris, you have wine with lunch and dinner.
Right.
And you have aperitifs before. An aperitif is not your appetizer.
Right. An
aperitif is a drink.
Right. Open your palate up and get your senses going.
Yeah, so I like the whole thing about the food. I'm not the cook in the house.
Well, so what we can do is, when you get that going, we can invite them out, and they can, or I can work with them, and we can plan some pairings.
And then you can come and be the chef here.
Yes.
And do a special dinner for Jack and myself, and it can all be the whole conversation will be around the meal. How about that?
It got to be Jack. You ain't got no sisters or nothing?
No, I don't have them. No, I had one brother, and he's gone. It's just me. I got a couple of nice girlfriends.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just, can he still hear me? Because I don't really want
Jack, Ben's talking about you. He was saying, he was trying to see if I don't know if there were any other lady friends that maybe we could bring, so we could have a foursome type of meal. He said,
Yeah,
we'll work on that. But I like that idea that you prepared, like you said, you're the personal chef. So we could have you come prepare the meal in our home. I think we got a decent stove and decent area. We can to do up the kitchen, so by the time you get here, it'll be late.
Yeah. But actually, we went to me and the wife went to Napa earlier this year with some college friends of mine to a jazz festival, and we did the same thing. We spent one day just doing wine tours,
wine tastings. Yeah. It's something to do. If people enjoy wine and enjoy that kind of atmosphere, the food and the wine and the cheese and the grapes and all of that goes with it.
But just being relaxed, and all that. So we had a good time doing that.
Did you? Yeah, we did too. We enjoyed it. And sometimes we even order our dinner wines from that area. We went to one of the wineries, and they send us. They couldn't send the wine before. Now they can.
Oh, can they? I don't get all these weird rules. Oh,
yeah. Kentucky wouldn't accept liquor or beverages from other states.
Right. You know why?
Why? Because of our bourbon?
Yep. Because what happened was, a lot of states that would allow bourbon to be shipped in said, well, wait a minute. Your people making money off us. If you're not going to allow our wine in, we're not going to allow your bourbon in.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
So that's why some of that changed.
Well, Ben, let me see if I can go back over here and get your, I'll put it up once you're gone and put the Louisville KY.gov.
I definitely appreciate that.
Any of the anytime anyone's looking for a job with Metro government, that's the website where they go to find their jobs. So this didn't turn out too badly, did it?
Not at all.
I enjoyed it.
I'll be glad when we can be face to face.
Yeah. I need to buy, I want to buy a camera, but I was looking that I was gonna have to have a production crew, just like you said. And then when you filmed yours, then somebody had to take it and go edit it and all that.
Right.
When I'm on camera, I'm on and it's on the air.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a repeat, if I need to do an edit, I can do the edits myself. Right. I've got some editing software, so I've learned to do a lot of things on my own. But I need to just kind of elevate and take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Cool.
So, Mr. Ben Johnson, I want to thank you so much for being my guest.
No problem. I got one more thing though.
What? You gonna show me something? Okay, I'm gonna put a close up on you. Okay.
Absolutely.
You got some dessert?
The first thing I ever actually cooked in my life.
Pound cake. Hush up. Wait a minute. Get off and send me a text. Tell me where you live so I can come give me a piece.
I told you I'm a city boy with country roots. So
that's a lemon?
Oh, it's an old-fashioned lemon buttermilk pound cake.
Ooh. Man.
No,
sometimes I eat dessert before I eat dinner.
And
in fact, that's a lot of times.
Put it on just for you.
Oh.
It actually is good.
Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I'll be over in a minute. So I'm gonna say bon appetit. Eat your food. Enjoy your meal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When you get close to being ready, let me know. We'll do this again.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right, take care of yourself, darling.
All righty.
All right, Ben. All right, that's Ben Johnson, the Black Chef. Go ahead. I love it. You never know. You never know what people do outside of people. I think all I knew how to do was sing. Please. Ben Johnson. I think he's close to getting that show together. We haven't spoken in a moment, but I sent him a message to let him know I had him on the air today, reminiscing about him fixing food and everybody getting ready to prepare their Thanksgiving meals. And so on behalf of the Miller family, we'd like to say, bon appetit. God's blessings to you. Enjoy your meal. Be safe. Call somebody and let them know you care about them or you were thinking about them. I had a conversation this morning with one of my very best, longest living girlfriends out in Kansas City, Teresa Ratliff. And wow, I think Teresa and I must have talked for 2 hours this morning. But she just got her doctorate, and I'm very proud of her. She was the developer for the Cora Villas that are down on Lewis Coleman Drive. And she and I have been friends since the 3rd grade. Okay. So we were reminiscing about our life and trying to catch up with each other. We haven't spent enough time, bits and pieces here and there, but we made a plan. So we're going to get together and spend more time and fill in the gaps, fill in the spaces. Bon appetit. Have a Jantastic Thanksgiving. I'll see you next Monday. And for the month of December, we're going to look back on all the shows that we had this year. That's my December month. But we are going to have a couple of special guests. Excuse me. There's going to be a tribute to one of my dear friends, to Prince Philip Mitchell, on December 23rd at the Memorial Auditorium, featuring Vic Frierson and the Bentleys and Janetta Hughes, and all in honor of Prince Philip Mitchell. If you don't know who Prince Philip Mitchell is, you need to know, because he's iconic in a quiet kind of way, evidently in his own hometown, but among music aficionados, Prince Philip is known. Prince Philip has won all types of Grammys and songwriting awards and Billboard awards for his writing. He's written for Millie Jackson. He's wrote some tunes for some rappers, and he's been around for a while. So they're gonna give him his flowers while he's still here, and that's going to be December 23rd at Memorial Auditorium. Miller Time. Miller Time is back in town, and Miller Time is laying it down one more time. So keep a lookout for that. The tribute to Prince Philip Mitchell, I think it called it Festive Holidays. Should be. It's all about Louisville's own. They left me out, but I'm not left out. I said I want to give props to Prince Philip myself, but Louisville was always known for having talented people. We had a lot of bands. We had a bunch of singers. We had plenty of musicians, and some of them went on. We had a Nesbitt. I can't even say his first name, but he went on to be Aretha Franklin's drummer forever and a day. We had Johnny Graham. Johnny Graham was part of the New Birth, but then he went on to play with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then who else did we have out there? Roach. Roach played with some names. Roach was a guitar player. And I was trying to think of who else I know just right off the top of my head. But this kind of brings back, kind of reminiscing with this show about the live entertainment that Louisville was known for. As a teenager, when I grew up, every club that I went to had a live band. I didn't just go to a club that played, had a DJ. Wherever we went to, Mr. D's, the Bowling Alley, the Golden Barrel Lounge, Club Louisvillian, all had bands. So that's what I grew up with, Joe's Palm Room, naturally. So maybe old folks can come on out, and because that's who knows who Prince Philip is, older generation. But you can bring your millennials and turn them on to somebody that is all that. They look at people like now, the people that they know, like your Jack Harlow, who's a Louisvillian, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Jack's cool. But this is Prince Philip Mitchell, and he is iconic, and he is Louisville's own. And we're going to give him his flowers on December 23rd, Memorial Auditorium. Get your tickets now. Miller Time, shout out to the Miller Time Productions. Bon appetit. See you on Friday, and then Monday we'll start all over again. Okay.